All right, welcome to another episode of Girl and a Gay. I'm Miles.
And I'm Taylor.
We are so excited. We have our first ever guest on the podcast. Her name is Elizabeth. I've been hyping her up all week because we're just so excited to talk about all things celebrities. And she went through a huge weight loss journey, which me and you are both on the keto diet. So I'm super excited. I don't know if she's on the keto or what have you, but she looks phenomenal. She also works as a news reporter right now, so we have a ton of questions.
I'm excited.
I know. I've been literally sending you her TikToks and all these things.
He's been telling everyone.
This. I literally keep hyping her up. So I think we should just fucking get into it.
All right.
All right. Everything on the table. This is Girl and a Gay. Let's get weird. Hey, everyone. Welcome, Elizabeth. How are you?
Hi, I am great. Excited to be here. Thanks for having me on this. This is so bizarre. Everything's just been so crazy, so I'm glad.
Yeah, you kind of just started making videos, for fun on TikTok?
I literally started making them a week ago because my best friend loves to make fun of me for anything I do. So it's just really just entertaining her. And then I guess it just started entertaining other people. It's been such a bizarre situation to just have so many people interested all at once. But I don't think people really understood or really think about too much of the dark part of celebrity, right? There's so much background things going on and you just don't think about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's something we've been really interested in, and I don't know if you're into conspiracy videos, but during quarantine, that's all we were watching about Hollywood, and I'm sure you've heard of QAnon and all this crazy stuff.
And people keep asking me these crazy questions, I have some insider view on this. Did I try to join Scientology once? Absolutely. I did do the testing because I thought it would be so much fun. There was a Scientology place in New York. I'm you know what, I'm joining. And you go in and you just fill out this huge paperwork, and then it started taking too long, and then I had to pay all this money. I'm okay, too far. But did I want to join? Absolutely.
That's crazy.
No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, they're all about aliens, right?
Some sort of alien in the body, some sort of experience. You go through these different levels to be an ultimate human. I wanted those connections. I wanted to be making out with John Travolta in the back of a closet. That's my vibe. So that's what I wanted. So it never worked out for me.
You have a crush on Christy Allen. You know Christy Allen, the girl that did all the
Oh
Witches stuff?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
that's funny.
Hilarious.
She's in that.
Yeah. Oh. I think she's still on it.
Oh, I'm sure.
I know Leah
sure.
Remini.
I watched her show. But even the show, I know it breaks it down for you. I was still so confused.
I know. I get really confused too.
It literally makes no sense whatsoever. If we're just being honest. But you know what? I love it. I love something obscure and extra, and I just will, I will support it to the end. They're not really doing anything. I mean, I guess
the 100,000-year contract, the million-year contract or whatever, where the children literally...
Is it great?
Down.
No. What do I want to join? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, because
just to know.
Yeah, exactly. The nosiness part of it.
I
want to kind of jump in and ask you, so what made you want to get into journalism? What made you want to report specifically on celebrities, or did you just want to get into journalism and you just fell into it?
I moved to New York City. I graduated from college. The next day moved to New York City. I lived in this tiny apartment that was just truly disgusting. $600 a month. I was working at European Wax Center. Just wanted a job, just trying to get to New York and to pay my rent. That was the game plan. And I was okay, well, I want to work in magazines. I had done communications or whatnot through undergrad. I knew I wanted to do something in journalism, so I just started to show up places. I showed up to 17 magazine and just met with the editor there. I demanded to meet with her because I needed to talk to her about getting a job. I just was not going to. I didn't want to work at European Wax Center anymore. And I was you just got to hustle. You're in New York City. This is your chance. So I just started showing up places. Well, I showed up to this tabloid, and they're we'll give you an internship. I'm this is amazing, and this is a celebrity tabloid, really cool, totally recognizable. I've always loved celebrities. Yeah. It's just fun. It's just fun, right?
So fun.
And so I just show up, and I always say you just have to be kind of just it doesn't take that much to be the best at things because people are so lazy. So I just was a little bit better than everyone else and kind of stuck out. They hired me on staff after about 3 months. I mean, truly, like, I was just transcribing their interviews better. I don't know what I was really doing. Just a little bit better than everyone else. And hired me on staff, and then, you know, I was covering, I mean, it was such a cool first job, right? I mean, I'm covering red carpets, going to parties, truly these celebrity parties, and I'd be in the middle of the situation, like, 1% of people are experiencing this in their whole life, and I'm doing it right here, and that is just so
Literally.
Crazy.
How old were you?
Early 20s, 21-ish, 22.
Nice.
Wow.
What part of New York did you live in?
I lived in Brooklyn the whole time I was in New York.
Oh, nice.
But I would, you know, went to the city every day
Yeah,
for
of
work
course.
or internship or whatever else. So,
Oh, that's so dope. Yeah, Brooklyn's actually really cool.
yeah, Brooklyn's
so
like
that's,
the new
wild.
Manhattan. It's really cool.
It really is. It's very hipster. That's like really dope though. Yeah, because like you like show up to these like red carpets and you're like, holy shit, I'm fucking interviewing this person. How the hell did I get here? Like, what the fuck? Like, did you have anxiety?
No, I was always just trying to be cool. Like,
Right, like
just
fit in,
like
walk the
try
walk,
to be
talk the
normal.
talk.
Like, which is very difficult for me in just like life, but like just trying to fit in. I mean, I tell this story. When I first moved to New York, I knew no one. I was from North Carolina. I like knew the basics. I wasn't like so just out of it all, but I didn't know kind of how things work. So I'm on this red carpet. I have no friends, zero friends at all. And Amanda Seyfried, I'm Mean Girls, Mamma Mia, all of that.
Yes.
She just, you know, she's on the red carpet and we're like, hey, let's chat a bit. We're talking. I'm asking her questions about her dog, and she has a dog. We're like really vibing hard. And so I'm like, maybe like she wants to be my friend. Like maybe in real life we can just like be friends. So I like walk up to her after I've interviewed her, like totally like, I'm like totally just like not used to this world yet. And I go up to her, I'm like, hey, I like really liked talking to you like on the red carpet earlier, because there's always a red carpet and there's a party. A red carpet, a party. So I'm like, I really loved talking to you earlier. I was like wondering if like you ever want to like maybe hang out. I just moved to the city. I know no one. And she's like, I like think you're cool. Let me give you my email. I'm like, okay, like cool. So she gets.
She's like, what?
So I've like put my heart on the ground, like you just like rolled it out for her, and she's like, I'll give you my email, which was cool. I was like, oh my god, thank you so much. So I sent her this like really sweet email, like way too long, about my life, about how I just like want to be friends. I don't know anyone in New York, like I just like need a friend. She like emails me back like 2 sentences, like, oh my god, traveling. Hope everything's well in the city, XOXO. And then I like message her again, like, do you want to get coffee? Like all caps, like, question marks, exclamation points. She like never has responded since 2013. So I'm really looking forward to that response eventually. I'd really like a response back from Amanda, but
Oh, well, TikTok,
you know,
that's going to connect you.
I know. Paris Hilton commented on one of my things.
What the fuck? I was sitting there. I was like, holy shit. I love Paris. She's Simple Life is like the shit.
She is truly just so nice.
I'm so excited for her documentary. I'm so excited.
We're just going to see such a part of her that we've never seen before. And I know that this sounds just so cliche just because I've had this like one moment with her, but I feel like I saw the not simple life when we were, I don't know if she was drinking or not. I'm assuming we were at a party. It was just a straight party, like no red carpet, just a celebrity party. I'm assuming she probably was drinking because everyone else was, but I don't know for sure. I was certainly drinking, but us just having this like drunk girl moment in the bathroom together was just, she was so normal and cool. Like she just cool.
Yeah, no, and I saw some recent interviews with her. You can actually take this out because you don't need it. It's playing through our headphones. Oh, sorry. Okay. I saw this interview, and like, you know, she has the two voice. She talks about how she plays that character of like the baby voice. That's what they wanted. And then I saw an interview with her, and she was like totally talking normal and just like down to earth. And I was like, this is like the Paris like I've always wanted to see, because you have to question what goes through your mind when you're like playing that character. You think that's a real person. You're like, are you fucking kidding me? But like, it's not. It's all a character.
It's actually so genius to have two parts of yourself. And I think that we all have multiple parts of ourselves, whether we want to or not.
Yeah.
But it's so smart to protect that part.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? That's like hers and not for the rest of the world.
Right. Yeah, like we literally, so I own a hair salon in our town, and she's the manager. So we're like, don't talk about sex all day. And then on Sundays we come together and we're just talking about like fucking and all this shit. And like, it's like, oh, okay. Who the hell are we? It's like two different personas. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a smart thing to do, and you should have your work persona, and you need to have just protect parts of yourself, you know. So I always think that's so important.
Yeah, and I actually really liked it because I know we talked about this, but I'm obsessed with Britney, and I actually met her twice at meet and greets. So weird. We can talk about that, and I want your point of view on it. But
tell me your experience about meeting her. I want to know what I need all the deets.
So basically, it was the first time I had met her was at her Vegas show, and we met her on the stage. It was very cool. We got to walk on it or whatever, and she seemed more relaxed. Her kids were running on the stage, the brothers there, like her assistant that's been there for since the beginning of time, Felicia, and you saw our managers. It was very chill. She was very sweet, quiet. You're awkward, and before you meet her, they're we've seen the bad meet and greet pictures, we know how it is, you just got to go in with good energy, and she matches whatever you go. So if you go in oh my god, she's gonna shrink in and not talk, and they were don't hug her, whatever. And then the second time I met her is when she came to Connecticut on her Piece of Me summer tour. It was so weird. It was so weird. And this was probably 5 months later. She canceled her Domination Vegas residency, and they put it. The thing that confuses me about it is she was about to meet fans. There was 20 of us in this back alleyway in the venue, and they raised a curtain, and you just saw a bunch of people walk in, and then they raised it down. It was up for 2 seconds, and obviously that was her walking in the room. But you would think you're about to meet all your fans.
Why can't you?
Why can't you be hey guys, can't wait, or just go hi, you know what I mean? And then when we got in there, it was just her management was standing there, Larry Rudolph, and he's just standing there, and her business manager, I think, I forget what her name is, but they're just standing there looking at her, and she didn't really talk that much. She was oh hi, and I tried to make her laugh. I was I looked like a hog in our last picture, let's do something sexy. And she was just okay, and it was just weird, you could tell. And then 5 minutes later she's on stage, 2 seconds later the concert's over. It's very. And then I heard some crazy shit in the UK where she freaked out on a fan because she went in for a hug, and the fan was well, I spent a lot of money, I just want a hug. She's oh, you spent a lot of money? Get her out. And it was this huge thing. Do you know who Mr. King Alex is on Instagram? He meets a bunch of celebrities. He said he was there that night, and he confirmed the whole story. He heard the interaction, and it was very uncomfortable.
You have to think. I feel people think I'm such an advocate for every celebrity, but I do have sympathy just watching the way that they are forced to interact with people so often. Is something going on with Britney Spears? Absolutely. We've known something was going on for a long time. The extent of that, unsure. There's always been rumors in the background in the media about her being drugged and just kind of being put through the motions. Is this confirmed? Absolutely not. But we all can tell something's wrong. We've known something was wrong since she shaved her head, that was just kind of the peak point. I feel for a lot of celebrities, though, they start feeling less like people and more like stage animals, where they're put you need to go here and you need to do this. And some people don't I really don't want random people hugging me. And you just have to kind of feel for Britney, because this has been her entire life. And there are some crazy things going on in the background. We don't know the details of that, but we know that something is wrong.
Yeah. The court documents came out, and they are it was a recent thing, and they're talking about how Britney publicly has come out, not publicly, but in the court documents said that she wants people to know all the stuff about it. Yeah. She wants people to it not be to be a closed courtroom. She wants people to know hey, I might have some mental, things going on, but things that are going on with me are not okay. Did you see her For the Record, her documentary in 2008 or 9?
I didn't.
It's really good. I tell everyone, if everyone's interested in that, to watch it, because she talks about everything. She's people around me, they're listening, but they're not really listening. And she just breaks down a lot. But Britney has always, since I was a kid, been my idol, and I've always been I've been fascinated with every part of her, but more about the behind the scenes, because she's such a big star, and you gotta wonder, she's a puppet, she loves to sing and dance, but they kind of milk everything she's got. I don't know, I just feel horrible for her.
Well, you're truly watching someone in a glass house. She can't leave that house. It's like a prison cell from North Carolina, a prison cell. But you're truly just watching this character in a house, just trying to figure something out. It's truly difficult to watch. Really. And you just feel for her. You love her. We love Britney.
How could you not?
I know, she's so cute.
She literally makes me laugh. Like, I'll just watch like a random video for her.
You can see there's just like nothing in her eyes when I watch her videos. Like, she's not there.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you can tell she'll like rock back and forth. Like, she's literally like has so much anxiety.
I just feel like she's on something that she probably doesn't want to take. She's probably forced.
Well, the conservatorship literally takes away every right. She's like a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she has like, hey, can I go to the mall? Hey, can I have $100? Like, hey, I'm getting married. Can you sign my paperwork? Kind of thing. You know,
I
like,
just could never be famous, and then to have that, I could never do it.
it's too much.
It's like not worth it at that point, right?
no.
It would be so exhausting. I just feel for her. She, you know, people always want to ask me about Britney Spears, and she's an LA celebrity. So I was in New York. So I really, my real people who I really interacted with were people who spent a lot of time in New York City. And she's always been so under control. I never would have that opportunity to really interact with her. I wasn't really in LA, and definitely wasn't in Vegas. And so,
did you ever hear
but
any
you just
weird,
watch it. And
did you ever hear any like weird
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Did you ever hear like any like weird stories trickle through the phone line that you're like, was that true? Is that true? Like, just like a rumor about anything, or like not even
about Britney?
Yeah,
Or anything.
like,
You know, just the drugs, just being kind of sedated, like that.
So
She's
you've heard,
that
like,
she is
reporters
being like
talk about
forced
that.
to take drugs. Totally like not confirmed. Just
Right.
things like mentioned. Were there people around me that were worked more on Britney's stories? Absolutely. I just wasn't ever that person that
Right.
really worked on them. So we would hear things. I mean, they hear things in the newsroom from people. But you
Poor
know,
girl.
just
hashtag
that.
free Britney.
Yeah.
right.
Free Britney. But I could literally talk about her for like 9 hours. So like we have to shut it off
Yeah,
at some
let's-
point because I could literally just keep talking about it. Okay, so I want to know, what is like the coolest thing you've experienced working in the entertainment industry? Where's like a moment you like walked onto a red carpet, or you're talking to a celebrity, you're like, holy fuck, how did I get here?
I think that any time that I wasn't actually doing a red carpet, but I was sent to, so we have these things essentially where you're sent to these celebrity parties. We're able to get in, like normal people couldn't get in, but we know someone in PR who can get us in or whatnot. And just being at a regular celebrity party where no one knows that I'm a reporter, what I'm really doing there is like taking observations on my phone to kind of send reports like, I didn't see this, but this is just like a random thing. Beyonce's dancing on the table. Like, she seems like she's drank a lot. And then that would make, in that case, where everyone's always like, who's the source? I would be the source in that. They wouldn't say like, our reporter saw. It would say like, a source saw Beyonce dancing on the table. Totally made up.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and so there was one night, Bootsy Bellows pop-up, New York City. It just always just stuck out to me because it was just like me, and I brought my best friend with me, and we were just surrounded by celebrities. Everyone's drinking. No one knows the difference. Like, no one knows who I am. I know who everyone is, like totally freaking out. I walk over to the young guy from Breaking Bad. I don't remember his name. Do you guys
Love
know his
that
name?
show.
What's his I follow him. The main character?
Like not the guy, not the older guy, but the younger main character.
I don't know. I'll tell you like
Instagram,
mid. Yeah.
Yeah, tell me in a minute. So my friend like loved that show too.
Aaron Paul.
And I walk up to him and I was like, my friend like loves you. And he's like, who's your friend? And I'm like, this girl over here. And so she's like sitting talking to somebody, and he walks over to her, leans over, whispers in her ear, I love you too, and kisses her on the cheek.
What the fuck?
What?
That's wild.
He's so cute.
I know. I'm like, amazing. So just like these like real moments. Reese Witherspoon's ex-husband was there. I remember all the Shahs of Sunset were there.
Oh my God, love
Paris
that.
was there that night. We're just all hanging out, and it was so normal. And so those kind of nights felt really special. So things like that have always like stuck out to me, like just being in the middle of a celebrity party.
That is so crazy. Now, do you have to sign like an NDA when you go into those things, or no? It's just like wild.
It's just wild. And you know, I'm not signing NDAs to go into a party for sure.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of like free game.
Yeah.
You hope your celebrity acts right if you're PR, but
Is there a celebrity around that time that was just notorious for getting so fucked up and like being like wild and crazy and like giving you literally like so much dirt?
you know, everyone. I have to be honest with you. I was drunk a lot of the times too, so I'm not
How did
sure.
you control yourself if I was drunk?
What year was this?
Anywhere, 2013 through 2016.
Okay.
Nice.
So, I mean, was Lindsay around? No, Lindsay Lohan was like not
I know. I was
in the picture.
gonna say she was like probably the
I
biggest
missed the
one.
Lindsay.
You probably
wild.
got the own Oprah Winfrey, her talking about how many times she died of cocaine, like end tail end of it.
Yeah.
Because she was actually in the city filming that, and maybe that was 2011 though. Like around that.
It had to be
that?
before,
Yeah.
or maybe it was like right during, but she just wasn't around. I don't ever remember us like doing anything with Lindsay Lohan, and if she was around, we definitely would. My biggest like sad celebrity, because you know how Lindsay like stopped being fun and started to get sad.
Yeah.
That kind of happens sometimes. My biggest sad was Amanda Bynes.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what. Gosh,
Yeah,
she was in the
I saw
city.
your TikTok
Wow.
where you're like, she like talked to me, and I've never told anybody like what she told me because like I felt so bad, and you could have made so much money off that, and you just didn't because your morals stepped in.
It would have looked really good for me if I had given some of the reporting that I didn't give. There were several of us working kind of with her. We had a freelancer working with her, and then I was kind of sent to do some stuff with her. Yeah, I kept a lot of that stuff to myself. People ask me, like, do I ever feel bad of anything I did? And when I was a tabloid reporter, I literally don't. For one, like, I was in my early 20s. This was my first job. I'm not going to feel bad for, like, having the time of my life. Sorry, hate it for you. But, first things first. But also, I had a conscience. Like, I never wanted to like ruin someone's life or tell secrets of people. Like, there are things that I know about Amanda Bynes I'll never tell anyone.
Yeah.
Because
Now, when you're talking to her, not what you were saying, I don't want to cross that line with you or whatever, but I want to know, like, when you were talking to her, could you tell that she was like on something, or that she was really weird and you're just like, this is really bizarre and I feel bad? Or was she like talking to you like a normal person, like, holy shit, like, I hate my life?
a little bit of both. It's like you're watching someone break down in front of you, like you're talking to someone on their worst day. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Where you can see that there's like a mental break happening.
But was she slurring
But,
her
like,
words
this
and not
person
making
wants-
sense? Or was she just like, oh my god, I'm so depressed, like, I need help, like, I don't know what to fucking do?
It was insane. I mean, off the walls. Like, one thing, other thing. Like a total manic episode, right? So, like,
okay.
she was just really, really doing
Yeah, that
it.
was so sad. Like, the whole,
It
like...
still is. I don't think it's like
no,
she's,
well, she got good, and then I think she's bad again.
yeah.
Not bad, but,
Is
like,
she-
going through it.
Was she pregnant, or is that? I don't
no
know. I recently. Do you like E News? I don't know if you can even answer that, but
I don't. I like E News. I
can't
mean, that
stand
was
it.
one of the reasons why I wanted to do this job.
I like recently unfollowed them on Twitter because some of the things they were reporting I just couldn't take anymore. But
It's like stupid headlines, like, oh my god.
oh, Chrissy Teigen ate too much sour candy. Now her tongue's gonna fall off. Like, I'm like, I can't listen to it.
It's like,
You're like, not for me anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. What it's always about clickbait, though. You know, with
Yeah.
like
And I did click it, probably. Like, that's what they want.
right.
So,
you want to know she tells her fucking
You're like,
tongue.
yeah. No. Yeah. So, do you know what's going on with keeping up with the Kardashians? Like, why they're leaving, or
I know that you did a live, and I logged
Yeah.
off because I wanted to ask you about it because I didn't want to get anything. I wanted to hear it right from you.
Right. So here's, you know, I talked to a couple people who are still kind of in that world. And, you know, all I could really get is that they're all really relieved that it's over. Like, that this is it. I think that they were just all ready to walk away. I'm really curious of what this next year is going to look like, because I think... as I think we're going to see some of them kind of fade away, I think that some of our key players, and really the key player, Kim Kardashian, I think we're going to see really a lot of interesting things out of Kim Kardashian this year. I think we're going to get clarity on her marriage. I think that's going to be clear. And it does make sense to me either way, whether she wants to help Kanye with whatever mental health crisis that he's going through, or wants to leave Kanye because that's a decision she makes. It makes sense to me she doesn't want it really to play out on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, because this is something that will be documented that our kids can see. And I think that if she didn't have kids, it would be a different story, but she's so protective over her children. And I think it's going to be really interesting watching Kim this year. I do think Khloe and I do think that Kourtney are going to step back from a lot of things this year. I think that they will... The relevancy, whether they want to be relevant or not, it's just going to play out, and they're not going to be as big of a deal. I think Kylie probably will have a couple of big projects come out this year. I think Kylie will still do her thing. And you know what? I think that Kendall has stepped away for so long because she's just so focused on her modeling. She's a real model. And I hate when people say she's not. She's absolutely beautiful. She looks like the rest of the girls. Doesn't that piss you off?
It
like
does.
She looks like the other models. It's not like if it was Kylie, I would feel a little weird about it. I think Kylie's beautiful, but she doesn't look like a model.
Right. Yeah. And like she must have gotten a phone call because of her last name, but you don't get to keep the jobs and do these big jobs every time just because of that, your last name. You have to like be able to fucking do the job.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think they're talented
I don't
girls.
think she honestly likes being in the spotlight.
No, she hates it.
Because I know she's touched on her anxiety a few times in the show about how she gets really bad anxiety.
Being around her at times gave me such a different view of her because all you hear about is how rude or she's mean to this person or that person. Mm-hmm. What you're dealing with is a really young person who doesn't know how to, like, who's trying to deal with their anxiety. You're not dealing with a mean person. Have you ever talked to a 17-year-old?
Yeah.
Have you ever talked to an 18-year-old? It's a joke.
They think you're like a different, they're normal, they're people. Like, they're just like us. They're just the cameras in front of them. And how they react isn't like you catch them on bad days. Like, it's not, everyone's
like
not perfect.
Like, if I had a fucking camera following me when I was around that age,
or like me this morning when I'm
up.
yelling in my house by myself, we're not normal either.
Like we've done some shit where you're like, okay,
yeah.
Even now, like, just as a normal reporter, just talking to like high school kids or beginning of college year kids, it's a joke. They just don't know what to say. They're kind of weird. They don't really want to do anything. It's just so normal, and she is just so normal. I think for the life that they've lived, I think Kylie and Kendall have both adjusted really, really well. And I'm a little, the reason I'm most sad about the Kardashians ending is pretty effed up. But to be honest with you, I wanted to see this social experiment about what these kids who were like born into this would end up like. So curious about Mason, who's already kind of like doing his little thing, but like North. How
she's
fascinating
literally
was that going to be?
Yeah, I know.
She's already Kim.
I know.
She's a replica. But I know that's can you just imagine being born into that life?
Like, what the fuck?
Like, when you grow up, like, I'm so lucky. Or not.
I know.
I don't know. But I know that's crazy. But they don't let him go on things. Mason, did he get in
he
trouble?
had a TikTok. And he would like talk about his sisters or something like that. That's wild.
He's like, Tyga and Kylie aren't together anymore.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Because that was like a big thing that they were like seeing each other again because they were spotted at a couple of different things.
But yeah, no, it is kind of sad.
So one thing that I thought was really cool, because I lived in New York City too. I went to hair school there. So I was right on King Street, and I was right by Trump Soho. And that's like where they would like be a lot. And this was probably around 2015, 2016. And so I remember I would always walk by there at night because I have a dog that I would walk, and then there'd be like a gate up, but like no one would really be there. And then all of a sudden, like 5 minutes later, like 10 paparazzi are there right away. Then the door opens and the celebrity comes out, then they leave.
Yeah.
And I saw Courtney and Kim. No, not Kim. Courtney and Chloe. And I was standing out there. Everyone was waiting. No one knew who was there. Like, whatever. I also met Jillian Michaels that night. And the guy from John Tucker Must Die. They were there for some reason. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of paparazzi show up. Literally in a flash. They, like, are shoving you. They're not... You're like, oh, who is it? They don't talk to you. They're kind of assholes. And all of a sudden, Chloe runs out of the door and goes into the van. And then Courtney walks very slow, like she's walking on a runway. And then later that night, or the night but later, like 2 days later, whatever, she posted pictures from the paparazzi.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, she wanted to, like, get those flashes, but they don't look at anyone. They don't talk to anyone. They just, like, look at the car and then they go in.
Yeah.
But Chloe didn't want to do it. Like, she just ran. Everyone's like, Chloe! And she just runs.
Everyone makes fun of Chloe, no matter what she...
This was in the beginning of her weight loss when she was looking good.
So, yeah, I think that's genius. If I had a cute outfit on, I'd want to walk for the paparazzi, too.
Free pictures.
But do you think that they call them and let them know? Because the paparazzi, every time I saw a celebrity there, which I saw a ton, the paparazzi always showed up 2 seconds before the celebrity would walk out. Like, it was, like, perfect timing.
Well, I think there's a lot, like, we were just watching Selling Sunset. Know how they were blaming Heather for calling whatever. Like, people must do that. Like,
Is that true?
They do.
Yeah.
And it's not, I mean, they're not calling them to be like, there was someone who wrote on my TikToks, they were like, celebrities always call, that's so paparazzi, you know. That's not true. I mean, no one wants to talk to anyone when they're having a bad day. Like, that's just not true. I mean, paparazzi are definitely staking out. I've seen paparazzi take other really sketchy measures, like with the Kardashians. I saw them, this is funny, but they would have walkie-talkies and they would find the channel that the TV show was on. They were taping in the Hamptons.
Wow.
So they would be on that same channel on the walkie-talkie. And so when they were like, okay, Kardashians are done filming, they're heading to dinner. Let's get the cruise. They knew where they were going. They could keep up with everything going on, be able to find them that way. I mean, they had sketchier ways of figuring out what was going on.
Is that illegal at all?
Is that what?
Illegal at all?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
No, it's okay. Is that illegal? Is that better?
I don't know. No, don't talk into that. I can't hear it all on that one. No. It's just there's a little bit of lag.
Yeah, there is.
So,
but I asked, is it illegal at all to like, you know, go onto that channel and like find what they're doing, or it's like whatever, found it by accident?
I mean, I don't know if it would be illegal. It's just too easy to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not breaking in or anything.
Have you ever seen the movie Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yes.
I just rewatched it the other night. And like, is that real? Like, so he's like a reporter and he goes through these extreme measures and like doesn't care about anything or anyone who he hurts or whatever. And he gets what he gets and he like becomes like the number one like person that arrives at the crime scene first. And like, I don't know, he just has no conscience.
There is such a difference when it comes to, people ask me a lot of times, are things illegal? Like, they're like, is it illegal to do this or that? The truth is, a lot of things aren't illegal. They're maybe not ethical. And so there's a big difference between the ethics that we see in entertainment reporting, which is like lower level ethics, like the things, you know, dig in the trash, stand outside people's homes, like paparazzi stalk them. Is it ethical? No. But, you know, like local news or news, CNN, NBC, Fox, there's ethics that have to be involved in that kind of reporting. There's definitely a difference. Illegal and ethical. I think it's probably legal to get on the same channel as someone else. It's like it's like listening to the cops talk or something. You know what I mean? Like when you're like what your grandpa listened to on a scanner radio. But it's not so ethical.
Yeah. No, exactly.
I really want to know, who is your favorite celebrity to meet, and what was that experience like?
You know, someone who left beyond Paris. I thought Paris Hilton was so great, but Snooki left such a good taste in my mouth when I met her. She was just so sweet. Her family like welcomed me into her birthday party. It was so like such a weird situation because I was covering it, but like I wasn't her friend. Had never met her before. I didn't know her family, but I was like a part of this birthday party. I was reporting on her birthday party. Really fun assignment. But I just thought she was so sweet and so normal. And this was kind of like she had just lost all the weight, so she was tiny and she was really getting into it, and she like kind of had a big comeback. So she's always stuck out to me as being incredibly sweet.
Yeah, no, and I actually like, when I think of Snooki, I feel like she could kind of like come off as like blah, like kind of like bitchy almost, but like obviously you telling us that she's not, like, I don't know, I've always thought like she had like kind of like a little bit of a
Yeah, well that's how she's portrayed, like on the show.
True.
But no, she seems cute.
The things I would do to Vinny or Pauly D, or both of them.
Really? Seriously. Vinny's so sweet. He looks so gentle. Like he would like cry like after you make out kind of thing.
He's like a teddy bear.
You know?
I think I want him to cry after
I love that.
Just like cry with him.
Have you ever met anyone that is like less attractive in person than what like everyone else in the world thinks they are?
I can tell you the most attractive person. This what sticks out. Emily Ratajkowski. I think I'm saying her last name right.
That's my boyfriend's celebrity crush.
She is more beautiful in person.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Do you want to throw up yet? Yeah, me too. And she's also the nicest human being on earth.
Really?
Like, just so cool. I met her at the grand opening of Tao in New York. She was so down to earth, so cool. and just so stunningly beautiful. You cannot believe that a human can look like that. That's not fair. Like, God loves her more than everyone else. Like, we get it. And then she's awesome. When you have a person like that, you like low-key want them to be a complete asshole. You want them to like at least they're mean. You know what I mean? No, she's just so great.
Yeah,
That's
she is
awesome.
really pretty.
Not as attractive in person. I don't know. Everyone's pretty attractive.
I know.
So I have a story for you, and again, obviously Shawn Mendes is someone who is newer in the entertainment business, so I don't know if you have any insight with that. But, so try to follow along. If you have any questions, stop me, because it's kind of confusing. So my best friend is a nurse in New York City, and she has friends who work in, is it Mount Sinai or something like that? Either way, they were one of the assisting nurses or one of the main nurses in the room giving birth to Amy Schumer's baby. And Jennifer Lawrence was there one day after the baby had gotten born, and they were talking about the Met Ball. Or Met Gala. Met Ball.
Met Gala.
I'm like mixing Lady Gaga. And they were talking about how Shawn Mendes had come out at the Met Gala, and were like talking to everyone about it, and like he came out as gay. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's true? And the source that, like, obviously she'd be the source, they're not like, you know, weird girls. They're very like book smart girls, so I couldn't see them making this up.
Yeah.
But, like, what do you think about that? Because, like, you hear the rumors about him being, you know, gay, and obviously, like, it's not slandering him in the sense of we're like, oh my God, he's such a gay boy, whatever. Like, I'm just curious.
I don't know, but I just feel like, isn't everyone a little gay at this point?
Oh,
Aren't we
yeah.
all a little gay now? Like, isn't that the thing? It's 2020.
We talk about
So
that a
I'm
lot.
going to be shocked.
Because there's also those rumors, I don't know if you've heard about Camila being, like, lesbian for Lauren, and, like, these, like, things going on. So I feel like they're each other's beards. And because they're, like, fans are, like, you know, little boys and girls, like, they want to, like, keep that, like, Britney and Justin kind of vibe going on.
Who knows?
But they're kind of getting older now, right? So it'd be the time to, like, just let it be known, let it shine, like,
Right.
let it be you.
And like, there's so many
don't
people
know.
that are already out in
Yeah.
Hollywood that it's not like it would
Maybe
be like.
it would just, like, it's my fantasy.
I think he wants him to.
I just,
be
like,
gay.
I love Shawn. I have Shawn Mendes boots.
Is it Mendes or what are you
I don't
saying?
know. I don't fucking know. I do
Yeah.
have to ask too, because my fiance is absolutely obsessed with Ariana Grande, and I know that she lives in the city. I don't know if she was as big when you were in the city, but do you have like any stories about her being bitchy? Because I've heard a lot of that.
I've never met her. I never was around her. Though I know someone who was and always said she was so nice, but we're also, all these people are so media trained. So a lot of the times, you know, I don't know what they would be like behind closed doors. They're
Right.
talking to the media. I never was at a party with Ariana Grande. You know what I mean?
So
Yeah.
when you say they're media trained, is there like legit like a tutor to like they like hire someone to like come over and like tell them how to do interviews and stuff?
Oh, absolutely. They have so many coaches before they do anything. They have so much help prepping for these sort of what a red carpet interview looks like, which are these like really fast moments. I think people think we have like so much time on a red carpet. Literally, we usually like the PR walks up, they're like, you have 30 seconds. And you're like, oh my God. So you have to like ask like an intro question. You're like, what's your favorite color? And they're like, pink. And then you're like, so is it true that you're a lesbian? And then it's like, what? Like you just have to like get it out quick. You know what I mean? Like the fastest things you can get, like the juiciest thing as quickly as possible, and you have like 30 seconds to do it because it's like your only time. Of course there's some sit down interviews that are long or whatnot, but for the most part it's really truly quick, so they have to be pretty quick to be able to answer a lot of the questions.
So something interesting that I found again on your TikTok that you did a little thing about that I wanted to kind of emphasize on was like you were saying that like let's say a tabloid gets a hold of a story about Beyonce and it's like really detrimental to her family or her career or whatever, and they say, hey, on Wednesdays, you said, is when they would your people would talk to the celebrity people or whoever's company, and they'd be like, hey, we have this story about Beyonce and we're airing it, and they'd be like, hey, well, don't air that, I'll give you a sit down interview, or like I know Shawn Mendes and I have a story about him. Is that like that's 100% true? Like, have you ever come across a story that never aired that obviously you can't talk about, but you were like, holy shit, if this came out, shit would go down?
Absolutely. I mean, and they would kind of come out later in different ways, but absolutely, like PR just, you know, you call and they either completely deny the story altogether, like this never happened. And we're like, okay, well, we're going to air it anyways. And then sometimes they'd be like, or like, we have this source and it's saying it's true. So we're going to, this is going to be published. And then they would have they'd be like, okay, don't do that. We'll give you a sit down instead. We'll give you a sit down, and you can ask about these other things, and you can even ask about this maybe more scandalous thing, but do not put that out. And then, or another tactic would be they would say, oh, but I have these 3 other clients, and I will spill everything. You can know about the dirtiest thing about them. That's why you have to, like, if you're listening and you want to be famous, you have to have good PR, and they have to be on your team 100%, or your PR can be your worst enemy.
Yeah. Right.
Definitely, if you're not as big as the other celebrities, I mean, your stuff will get leaked before anyone else.
That's why money really, like, you couldn't pay me. I could not do it.
Well, hopefully, one day. Are you going to leave me if we get an audience?
People are mean, and I don't think I could personally take that.
I'm, like, saying that I think it'd be funny if someone was mean to me, but I'm actually terrified, too.
No, it's not.
It's not fun. You just get to the point where you're like, whatever. Even on my TikTok, I'm used to it because I've been in the media for so long, and definitely not on TV. I get it a lot. But, like, even on my TikTok, I get it sometimes. Like, you're going to get both ends of it, and you just kind of, like, laugh about it. Like, the other day, someone was like, you look like Janelle Evans from Teen Mom. I'm like, oh, my God, thanks. It's so nice of you.
Thanks.
And then but the same, like, in another video a little later, someone's like, you look like Audrina. And I'm like, okay, not true, but thanks. Like, that's Audrina? So sweet. So you just...
oh, my God, yeah, okay.
No, not really. I don't really look like that. But I was like, thank you. I had, like, a lot of makeup on. But you can kind of tell on my videos if I've just recently been on TV or if it's, like, the end of the day and I'm literally look like Janelle Evans from Teen Mom. So you get both from me,
That is so ridiculous. I can't even. That's funny. She's a fucking...
But people are mean.
Honestly,
But there's...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, there is a true correlation. No one hot has ever called me ugly.
There you go.
No one ever. Or with a profile picture. And that's what's going to happen to you. Like, it's never going to be... No supermodel has ever messaged me and said I was ugly. It's always, like, Brenda, who has a picture with a horse, slightly overweight, and, like, loves making cornbread. Like,
Fuck
that's
you,
what
Brenda.
100% always is. No one else.
Someone that is insecure. Yeah.
Brenda and that fucking horse. Stupid bitch.
I was just watching. So MTV, remember, they started 16 and Pregnant. And, like, that's, like, everyone was, like, they're glorifying being pregnant at such a young age. Now they're famous and they're making money off of it. So they just came out with 16 and Recovering. And I just watched the first 2 episodes. So it's a high school in Massachusetts, and it's for people that are recovering from drugs or alcohol and not in recovery. They could still be doing it, and they go to this high school. And I'm thinking, I'm like, is it really the best thing? This is, like, a great thing that they're doing, like, showing that, like, this is happening and not to a younger generation. It's scary and sad. But, like, to be putting them in the spotlight and have them on TV, because the backlash that people can give you, like, can make you more depressed, and that's what a lot of it comes from. I'm like, I just couldn't...
That's
like, that's
crazy.
what's scary, but you can't find it, like, them on Instagram, because I tried, like, seeing if they had their own page or something, and you can't find it.
They probably
for that reason.
Yeah.
But I couldn't imagine.
Interesting.
Yeah, the media does a lot of glorifying with that kind of stuff.
Well, just, like, I
wonder if they're getting paid for it.
So. But then again, like,
I bet their currency.
Do we give drug addicts cash?
Yeah.
Like, is that, like,
that's
the best
what I'm
thing
saying.
to do?
Maybe they get treatment at the end of it or something.
I don't know. It's a really good show, though, because it really does shed some light into all of that. But it's just crazy.
So,
I'm so curious of why they don't have social media, because I see, like, on TikTok, there are, like, people in prison making TikToks.
Yeah, what
how are y'all doing that?
What is that? Is that a halfway home, or is that legit a prison?
I know. I see people, like, dancing in the shower area.
Like, okay.
Or, like, showing how to, like, make some, like, prison makeup. Like, how are you doing that?
Yeah.
Do the prisoners have iPhones? Like, maybe it's not so bad. Like, right? I'm not sure.
I think a lot of what happens in the show that Dakota's watching right now, what's that called? Orange is the New Black. Like, definitely happens in real life prison, too.
Yeah.
That's coming from someone that was in there.
Before I get to my number one question my second number one, because I have 2 more that I want to ask you, I wanted to ask you some advice for us. So we are, trying to get this podcast thing going. We really love talking to guests and getting people on here. What is your best strategy, you think, for us to maybe potentially get, like, more, like, guests on here? Who do we contact? Like, where do you think that we should go to get our name out there? Like, kind of things like that. or anyone.
You
with
know,
a podcast.
the best thing that you can do is continue to network, just to meet people and grow your social media. The more people you have following you, the more street cred it's just going to give you in general. It's just a really good thing to have. The sooner you can get a check mark on any of your stuff, the better. And
how do you
know,
get that?
just to go up to the top, and and as far as reaching out to even celebrities, you don't have to start with Jennifer Lawrence. I mean, there are so many celebrities that are so reachable through social media. So don't, just continue to build your roster of people that you're talking to, and just start with some of the celebrity recognizable people that maybe just aren't A-listers, and that's totally cool.
Janelle Evans.
And they're going to be totally interested and so excited to talk to you.
Or the guy, my famous crush. He's not that famous
Noah?
yet. Yeah, I love him.
but maybe we'll start with Janelle Evans. Maybe we'll go and contact her. I mean, I bet she would, because she has a lash line that came out, which I thought was so weird that she comes out with makeup. I'm like, that's not on your brand, baby. You should be coming out with buckets or
buckets.
I don't know. She weirds me out.
Cowboy boots.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I think that's good advice. I think that we definitely need to branch off of that. I just had to ask.
I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night and see Miles DMing all these semi-famous people.
Yeah, you should though. I mean, it
doesn't hurt.
A lot of these TikTokers are so much more reachable, and they're huge right now too.
Yeah.
That's
good
it does,
advice.
I actually like TikTok. My boyfriend was in Dunkin' Donuts, and Charlie, what's her name?
Yeah,
has her own
Charlie.
drink. And
Yeah.
I'm like, she's 60, and it's just crazy.
I think her
to
dad
me.
works for Dunkin' or is in Dunkin' because when she first started, she always posted about.
Oh,
Dunkin'.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that she was that young when I read an article about her talking about her weight and all that stuff. She's 16. I did not know that, and she's from Connecticut too.
Yeah,
Everyone knows everything. I'm always late to the party. But
I feel like there's a lot of celebrities in Connecticut.
yeah, that's wicked cool.
So I have 3 more questions for you. Is timing good?
Okay. Yeah, we're doing great.
All right, cool. So, what was your least favorite celebrity encounter?
Always Ramona Singer every time I ever saw her.
I knew
She's loud. She is rude. Is she did I see her get in a fight? No. But she just would walk around events just being loud with her one PR person with her one friend. And it was just everyone was just, we would all just be having these normal interactions. And she was just that person who's thought she was too big to talk to press at times. She's just bizarre. Truly.
Her eyes.
I know.
I'm scared. She's like, I'm like, hello?
No, I know.
She's wild. Okay, so I have to ask what your opinion is about the Illuminati. And have you heard any? I know, you said in the beginning, you didn't really hear that much about things, more behind the scenes. But did you ever hear a story where you're like, wait, that's actually kind of weird? I don't know what I think about that.
Do I think that there are secret societies that we don't know about because we're not rich enough? Absolutely. I think that there are. I 100% believe in the Illuminati. Do I think that every single sign that pops up, like Beyonce throwing up a triangle at some sort of event, means that she's a part of it? Not necessarily, but I think that there's just the wealth and the 1%. I feel like I've gotten to see major sides of that, and to think that there is not these sort of secret societies is just that's even more bizarre than thinking that there are. There just 100% are these little things. Have I ever seen anything with my own eyes? No, I wouldn't have been invited to do stuff like that. I think they're incredibly secretive, but I do really believe that there are.
Have you ever heard anyone through the grapevine?
If it's not. Nothing in particular that I can think of that really stuck out to me. But I just have seen the other side of the sense of how much wealth and stuff is going on behind the scenes that normal people don't really get to be a part of. And if I wasn't in this particular realm, I would never have been a part of, in any sense. And there's just no way there's not some secret stuff going on.
Yeah, we watched this Out of Shadows. Have you ever heard of that conspiracy video? It's it talks about how this guy was a stunt actress in Hollywood for a year. Actor. So I said actress. and for years or whatever. And then he hurt himself on an accident in one of the movies he was doing. He was Batman, he was Robin, he was Iron Man, like he did all the stunts for them. And he hurt himself one time, and then this woman,
she was a pelvic floor therapist.
Yeah, she like was supposed to be his like therapist for like, body or whatever. And she was like, you have really bad energy around you. Like, can I pray for you? And like he was like weirded out. He's like, sure, like, whatever. And then he started to think about different things that he'd see at parties, and then he started questioning himself. He's like, wait, what the hell is going on right now? You know what I mean? Like satanic rituals and like different things like that. And like he just like was like weirded out by it. But he did this huge documentary. I recommend watching it if it's still online. But it's very interesting to hear that, because he was in Hollywood. He was he's with all those big people. Like he was in the industry for 20 years. He saw some shit. And I just like always was curious, like, do these people, when they talk about their God, are they talking about like Satan? You know what I mean? Like you don't know. Like, are there like openly people that talk about like?
Yeah.
I don't know. You just hear weird things.
But see, the thing is, like, if I would have seen like a satanic ritual going on, like at a party or something, I would have been involved immediately. Like, how do I join right now? Like, I will drink the blood. I will be a part of this. This is my vibe. Like, I'm ready for this moment. So if it was there around me, I would have totally like been very in tune to it and excited to join the bunch. It sounds like a great time to me.
The Scientology, you want to be a part of the satanic ritual. You're just like, I want to see what's going on. Like, let me see that.
Yeah, let me be a part of this, please. Thank you.
Well, I kind of want to move into our final part of our interview here, and thank you again so much for coming on here. This is like so awesome. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't let you leave without asking about your lifestyle change, your fitness journey. Me and Taylor have both been doing keto. She's been doing it for almost a month now. I've been doing it for like 2 weeks tomorrow. And we've noticed some changes, but do you have any advice for people? What did you do? Like, how did you get into that mind frame? Kind of bring me down that road.
Okay, so first of all, it all started pretty dark. I found out I had a binge eating disorder through therapy. So what that means is it wasn't like a disorder where I was like hiding in my bedroom underneath like covers, like stuffing my face with Cheetos. It wasn't like that. But what I would do is I would go all day long or maybe a couple of days and I wouldn't eat. And I was like really proud of myself in those moments. And I think it's funny because when I say that, people really, a lot of people see eye to eye with me on
like
that.
Binging and not to mention like the whole, oh my God, I haven't eaten since like yesterday. Like I'm finally gonna eat like 10 cheeseburgers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I'm just like really proud of myself. I just like haven't eaten in like 4 days, or I had 1,200 calories today. I just feel really good. So just like you're proud of yourself, and it's glorified in America and diet culture, and it's just totally a huge thing. So I did this therapy thing, and to be completely transparent, which I've just been more transparent about this for the past probably 4 months, I did end up having weight loss surgery at one point. So that is a big factor. But before I could do that, I had to do all this other stuff because it's so easy a lot of people will have weight loss surgery and then just like lose a little weight and then back to normal habits if you don't like learn to eat differently. And you guys are on this keto diet. What I've done is I've given up diets completely. We obsess over food. Every diet industry is built to fail us, right? Everything is built to fail us. Losing weight is incredibly hard to do. And, it's just all built to make us fail. And every time we are maybe, I don't know, you guys are on keto, so you're not really eating bread, but I bet you guys could, like, if someone put a tray of donuts in front of you, you guys are going to feel something, right? You're going to feel pretty
I don't want to hear the word
I'd get horny. At this point, I'd get fucking horny.
But imagine the power, this is about to be a therapy session, but imagine the power of if you gave yourself full permission to just eat whatever the fuck you wanted to all the time and didn't worry about it anymore. And you think in your mind, oh my God, I would just like stuff myself with pizza. This is called intuitive eating for the record, so if you want to look this up later. But I'm going to just eat pizza and sugar and shit all the time. And that's what you think you're going to do. But the truth of the matter is you're going to stop obsessing over food all the time. Because when we're obsessing over it, it's all we're thinking about. And we want to, if I want a donut, I eat a donut. But I also have learned to listen to my body cues of when I'm full, or when the donut stops tasting as good anymore. Like, it's sweet, but then it's like, it always gets to a point where it's just like not as sweet anymore. And I just stop doing it. I don't obsess over food. And I do this complete intuitive eating thing and kind of just eat what I feel like eating. You have to understand your body probably knows what it needs better than you do. Do you know what I mean? Listen to what your body wants. Those cravings are valid and things you want. So that's been huge for me, just getting my brain right. And then exercising. I've started running about a year ago, so I do run. I do Pilates because it feels very chic, and I pay like way too much to be a part of this like Pilates studio. That she like takes 4 clients a day. It's like really too much, and I like spend all my money on it. So that I do that as well. I'm not sure if it's working. I don't care. And yeah, so you know, just giving yourself a break from I dieted literally my entire life. I don't remember a time I wasn't dieting, even when I wasn't overweight. And it's exhausting, and it's not
like, what turned on like that initial like, okay, this is like, because I know you started last October, correct? Like really diving into it. What turned it on for you? Like what was like the final straw kind of thing?
You know, this is like, so Brady, my fiance, and we went on a hike, and we got like 3 minutes into this hike, and it was like straight up a hill, and I couldn't breathe anymore. And I started to cry because I like was like, how did I get to this? Because it's so funny. I've always had self-confidence. Like I remember being like, Mom, I got approved for weight loss surgery. Isn't that so crazy? And my mom, who's like a Southern woman, like to the end was like, honey, it's really not that crazy. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm not skinny? Like, I just had no idea. I'm almost 300 pounds, but I'm like me? Like, I'm just like, I look so good. Like, I have no idea. And you just like, so I had like confidence. I didn't quite understand, but when I started to not be able to do things that I wanted to do, like easily, I was like, okay, this is like really shitty. I need to figure this out.
That's wild. Yeah, I just got to the point like a couple weeks ago where I'm just like, I'm uncomfortable in my fucking clothes that I'm wearing. I'm not going up another fucking size because I've already gone up like 5 sizes since like my skinniest times. And I just want to like look good, feel good mentally, like whatever.
I like be able to take a picture and not hate it.
And not cringe.
That was like my favorite thing.
Right.
That was my least favorite thing to do.
Right. And we're trying to be in front of the camera. We're trying like even in our real life jobs, like we're branding ourselves. We're branding like who we are behind the chair as stylists, as a manager, like as a salon together. And like when we have photo shoots like quarterly, and it's like, it's sad. You know what I mean? Like I really don't want to fucking look at myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's great. Well, I'm so inspired by you. I think your story is so cool. I really, really, really appreciate you coming on here.
Yeah, this was awesome.
I hope we can have you on again.
You guys are so much fun. Like this is, you guys are gonna blow up. You guys are fine. Like please don't stress.
Oh, we're
like,
not. We're having fun. This is our
I
hobby.
swear to you.
Yeah. This is just fun for us.
This is our hobby.
This is like, but I also like swear to you guys, like anything you want is yours. And like if I've learned anything in my life, like that is just truly the truth. Like if you can just like envision it, you can be whatever you want to be. Like I'm a nobody, and I like got to do really cool stuff, you know, and because I wanted to do these things. And so you guys are gonna, this is so good. You guys are so cute together too. Like this dynamic is just unbeatable.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And hopefully this isn't the last time we'll have you on the podcast. You know, maybe we can like have one where we're like drinking together, because we like to get drunk sometimes on the podcast and just talk about weird stuff.
Same.
So maybe we'll pop bottles next time.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. If you like what you heard, definitely go follow us on Instagram or leave us a review. So enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. If you like what you heard, tell a friend. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. See you next week, bitches.